Overdrive today, we ride the Triumph Speed 400 and drive the new Maruti Suzuki Invicto. Hello and welcome to Overdrive. I'm Sunny Dutt. It's barely been a week since the first motorcycle from the Bajaj-Triumph partnership has launched in the country at an attractive price of 2.23 lakh rupees, and customers have been flocking towards it. In fact, a recent report from the brand has stated that over 10,000 bookings have already been made, not only for the Triumph Speed 400 but also for the Scrambler 400X, which is yet to launch in the country. It speaks of the popularity of the brand and the motorcycle itself, and Chris got a chance to ride this on a rainy day recently. Here are his first impressions.
Some say that variety is the spice of life, which is true, because in that sense, well, the sub 500cc Indian motorcycle space, well, it certainly has been spiced up this July. That's because, well, although there are great existing brands and motorcycles in that capacity space in the form of the Royal Enfield 350s, the KTM 390s, the Honda CB series, and, well, the Bajaj Domina and motorcycles of that sort, well, there are now global players who are entering that displacement category by joining up with Indian manufacturers like Harley-Davidson and Hero MotoCorp, and most recently Triumph with Bajaj. Now, this motorcycle that we have out here today, this is the Triumph Speed 400. It's aggressively priced at 2,33,000 rupees ex-showroom Delhi, and we are here to find out if it's a true Triumph motorcycle in the real sense. Now, everyone that tuned into the launch of the Triumph Speed 400 was completely baffled by its pricing, which undercut even something like the Bajaj Domina 400 with its introductory price for the first 10,000 bikes. Post that, the first thing most of us thought was, if it's so cheap and affordable, they definitely must have cut corners in some way, in terms of build quality or fit and finish or something, right? Wrong. Because everything about the Speed 400 is as you would naturally expect on some of Triumph's larger capacity motorcycles. If you've previously thought that the attention to detail on motorcycles like the latest Royal Enfield J series of bikes, if that was impressive, they've gone one massive step ahead of that with this one. From the tidy wells all over its chassis, to the neat tucking away of its wiring, down to the powder textured finishes on bits like the front mudguard, the quality of clamps, the gloss finished tank, the machine finished fins on the engine, and even the stainless steel exhaust can, everything is top drawer. It feels like you're getting more than your money's worth at this rate. Class leading quality in every sense. You get LED lights at both ends with DRLs up front that are very reminiscent of bigger bikes from the British manufacturer's stable. And I absolutely love the little Triumph logo in the headlamp and LED tail lamp units, which undeniably add touches of class. The chunky golden upside down fork up front and that wide handlebar with its bar and mirrors that sit atop it give the bike a very butch, retro modern appeal. Everything about the Speed 400 looks neat, proportional and thoughtfully designed. It maintains certain design elements from the current crop of Bonneville bikes and cannot be mistaken for anything other than a Triumph motorcycle. The instrument console consists of a very neatly laid out analog speedometer and a digital LCD screen which reads out 2 trips, the time, the level of fuel, average fuel consumption, gear position indicator. No Bluetooth connectivity though with this Triumph, and honestly you won't be too bothered by the lack of it. You do get a conveniently located USB socket though, so you can mount your phone or GPS devices on the bar and still keep them charging on the go. Now, although Triumph has left out features like Bluetooth connectivity with this particular model, the Speed 400, the great thing about it is that it has included more practical features like ABS. Well, that can't be switched off. But the traction control can be, and that's not something you see every day on a motorcycle of this displacement category. Also, the liquid-cooled engine, slipper clutch, ride-by-wire throttle, all features that are useful out on the road, especially in conditions like this. And that is a brilliant thing. So although the Speed 400 packs a good amount of features, well, the real outstanding bits for me about this motorcycle have to be that 398cc single-cylinder engine. Well, it's liquid-cooled, makes around 40 PS of max power, 37.5 Nm of max torque, made it to a 6-speed gearbox, and this thing has a good amount of low-end torque.
and high up the power band as well. A good amount of juice, mid-range is just perfect. Low down the power band, things are just so smooth, refinement levels are great. And yes, also the way the chassis is set up, well, it's a hybrid chassis of sorts. So you can see parts of the tubular steel perimeter frame hidden away underneath the tank and some of the panels. And the bolt-on subframe as well. The way this motorcycle is set up is just so enjoyable. The way the power is delivered and everything is just excitement all the way through.
The Speed 400 might look like an easygoing roadster, but with the amount of power that it has to offer, well, it enters KTM 390 Duke territory. And although its acceleration of the line isn't as aggressive as that of the Austrian motorcycle, well, it's more gradual and linear, with as much as 80% of the max torque kicking in at 3000 RPM, which gives the bike a good amount of shove in the low mid-range. The 4-valve DOHC engine pulls nice and clean, which not only feels great at the bars and pegs with characterful vibes, but also it sounds great. Its first gear is short, but beyond that the gearing of the higher cogs are spot on, allowing it to be one of the most tractable single-pot motors of its time. You could be doing speeds of around 100 to 110 km per hour in fifth, brake hard, reduce speed down to about 35 km per hour and still not have to downshift at all. Even at around 100 km per hour in sixth at around 4000 RPM, the engine feels like it has hit a sweet spot and is just waiting for you to open up some more and let the speedo needle fly further up now. This is definitely a motorcycle that you could ride every day and still not get bored of riding at all. Speed 400 has been designed ground up by Triumph and out here completely built up by Bajaj. It feels like a motorcycle of remarkable quality, even when it comes to its handling mannerisms and dynamics. You'll be seated in a fairly upright position on this motorcycle with no stress on your palms as you reach for that wide handlebar, while your feet are slightly rear set in a sporty stance. The bike that we rode out on into Maharashtra's monsoons came clad with Apollo 110/70 and 150/60 section R17 tires at both ends. And although they might not match up to the M9 RRs while exuberantly lunging into corners, I'm thrilled to report that I walked away very impressed with their performance. Even the way the suspension is configured on this motorcycle is highly impressive. The bike takes away the sharpness of most bumps that you will come across, while the seating provides you with a good amount of space for you and your pillion to adjust yourselves and go about your business in comfort and style. Now this one is sure to ruffle the feathers of each and every other player in this displacement category, and that's not something that we as Indian motorcycle enthusiasts will really complain about.
Given this motorcycle's price, 2,33,000 rupees ex-showroom Delhi, there is nothing on the road at all that comes close to it because it ticks a lot of boxes, which is awesome. The best thing about it is there is another version of this motorcycle that's just around the corner. It's the 400X, the Scrambler, which is a slightly more off-road centric, not completely off-road focused, but that also is going to be a very, very interesting proposition when it comes out later this October.
Do let us know your thoughts about this motorcycle on our YouTube channel. We'll be back after a very short break to tell you all about the Maruti Suzuki Invicto.